Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Yes, I'm sitting in front of the computer because I know I said I wouldn't do this, but I'm having to do a little work in front of the computer today while I'm vlogging so that I can take my walk tonight. I'm like so into my walks now, you have no idea. And I will show this on my update this week. I'm like losing my voice. But I have been using my workout journal greatly to track several different things. But I'm not going to talk about my weight or how I'm doing on my weight today because I did kind of a mini weight loss update, healthy journey update over on my Peter Does Stuff channel. So I'm not going to talk about any of that today over here. But I did have some successes and some things I'm very proud about. So I talked about that over my Peter Does Stuff channel. So if you want to hear about all that, go over there to that channel and you can watch that video. I'm not going to get into it over here today. And I don't know how long this vlog is going to be because I'm trying to get these videos up. And like I said, I want to take my walk. Alex has a meeting. He's actually at it right now. It's currently, let's see what time it is. It is 5:13 p.m. on February 12th. Valentine's Day is in 2 days. Ooh la la. Let's see what the temperature is outside. It's colder today than it's been. The temperature right now is... My two apps that take the longest to load are Goodreads and the Weather Channel. It's 43 degrees, says it feels like 37. Tomorrow it's supposed to be a little bit warmer, 46, and then Wednesday 49, and then it goes down. Oh, we're supposed to have possibly snow. Oh, 32 on Saturday. Ooh, it's gonna get cold. So anyway, last night, Alex is at a meeting right now. It started at 4:30 and he said it shouldn't go too long and then he's gonna be home. And I said, take your time, because I'm filming videos and then I'm gonna walk is what I told him. So he was like, okay. He's very proud of me for my walking. He's like, I can't believe that you keep on walking every single night. Well, hi, Boo Radley. Boo Radley just went outside, ran around outside for a long time, came inside, had treats that I refused to eat. Then he had food, warmed up his food. He didn't want his food, and now he wants me upstairs in bed is where he wants me. But I'm not going to be in bed right now because I'm vlogging, needing to do some stuff on the computer. So anyway, so yeah, a little 24-hour update on what I did. This is my first cup of coffee for the day, too. Can you believe it? I've been drinking water a lot. A lot of water I've been drinking. So anyway, last night after I got I did a vlog yesterday. After I got done with all that kind of stuff, and I don't even remember. I went and took a walk yesterday. Really nice walk. I actually finished, I don't know when I finished it now, but anyway, I finished Reese's book club. Oh, no. So I was almost done with it when I came back from my walk last night. I was so relaxed yesterday. I'm actually thinking about this week taking a few days off in a row. I feel like I want to do that, and I feel like I should do that. I said I was going to take off Friday because it's the anniversary of the accident. And I feel like, I know... Every time I say this on here, people comment, they're like, oh my God, he's talking about taking more days off. I have such a hard time with taking days off. But anyway, so I've been thinking about taking a couple days off this week, maybe towards the end of the week. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, so I was so relaxed last night and I listened to music for my first half an hour of my walk last night. And then I listened to the book for Reese's book club, which is also the book for Peter's book club this month. And it is called Redwood Court. And I was almost done with it. So when I got home last night, Alex was watching Emily in Paris. Then he finished watching Emily in Paris. He's completely done with it. Then he watched a halftime show, and then he went back and he's watching the reboot of Gossip Girl for the 1000th time. But anyway, so he was upstairs. He was relaxing in bed. He was like, I am so tired. He actually texted me today, just a little while ago, and he was like, I am so tired today. I don't know why. I'm like, I don't know why either, because you went to bed early last night. So I sat outside. It was it felt really good last night. Got home, got some water, and I finished listening to Redwood Court. So I finished that book. So that was 2 books I finished just from my walks in the last couple days. Because I finished stalking around the Christmas tree the other day. And then I've been reading like just a couple pages at a time of this graphic novel called The Prince and the Dressmaker. And I sat down outside and I just was like, okay, I made a cup of coffee and I was like, I am going to finish this graphic novel. So I just sat down and I finished the graphic novel, The Prince and the Dressmaker. It was really good. It didn't take me that long. Graphic novels are such easy reads. They take like no time to finish. So I finished it in like half an hour or something like that. I was already like halfway through it. Then I started listening to the book for True Crime Book Club for February, which is Blood on Our Hands by Mandy Matney, and it's about the Murdaugh trial. Now, I have to tell you, Mel is like obsessed with everything Murdaugh trial. Like, she is like watched everything on YouTube's and the law cases and the law courts, and she read everything, and she listens to all the podcasts, and she was really excited when this book came out because she's seen all the documentaries and everything. She's like obsessed with this case. So she listens to the Mandy Matney podcast, and she was really excited when this book came out. And at first I was kind of like, I'll be honest with you, like, I've watched everything about the Murdaugh case. Like, I know that new stuff comes out every once in a while, but I'm just like, at this point, I'm kind of like, okay, unless there's like some huge thing that happens, like, you know, I'm just really whatever. But I knew she really wanted to read it. So I was like, girl, yeah, we'll just read this book. This will be good. And then, you know, I don't know anything about Mandy Matney or this podcast or whatever. So I started listening to this book last night, and I honestly thought it was just going to be like a recap of everything that you know from what do you call it, from like watching the documentaries and whatever. It is so good. I am like blown away how good this book is. So it's about Mandy Matney, and she has this podcast now, and I don't know what the podcast is called, but it's all about the Murdaugh trial. And she got real famous for this podcast. And so she was one of the first people that was on the story. And it goes at the very beginning. It's just the first part of it. It's not very long, but she talks about like getting out of school for journalism and going from this newspaper and that newspaper. And then she was like she was living in, I can't remember, close to Charleston, but she was covering like The Bachelorette and something else. And, okay, so I gotta, hold on a second, upload this video to so I can upload it on my phone. So anyway, she was, covering like, so anyway, somehow she was like covering like little stories that happened that came out that like weren't getting a lot of traction, and she was one of the first people that saw about the boat accident that happened where Paul Murdaugh was, can we say driving, or do we still say allegedly? I don't know, but anyway, the boat, and that his friend Mallory was killed in that accident. And she was like one of the first people to cover it. Okay, but then it goes in, and she's got like all these like secret informants and stuff like that that are like giving her the Snapchats of it. It's really interesting. It's a really good true crime. It actually kind of reminds me a little bit of I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara, about the Golden State Killer. It reminds me of I'll Be Gone in the Dark, One Woman's Obsessive Search for the Golden State Killer by Michelle McNamara. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit. I don't know why, but it does. But anyway, so I listened to a little bit of that. I actually listened to quite a bit of that, like an hour. And then I did a face mask. Did I do a face mask last night? I did a little face thing. And then I like took it, because I was like, my body was so sore from my walk. And Alex was like, I think like a hot shower would be really good for you. So I took like a long hot shower and put on my comfy pajamas and things like that. And I was so bad last night, I wanted to watch True Detective. So if you don't know, like, I'm a huge True Detective fan. I've watched like every season. I was so excited when this season came out with Jodie Foster. And I want to watch it so bad, but I'm trying to wait until all 6 episodes are out. I think the finale is next week. And so, next Sunday. I think there's only 6 episodes. And so I'm trying to wait. I think that's when it ends. Well, whenever it ends. I'm going to wait until it ends now, because I think there's like 4 episodes out that I haven't seen. I'm going to go back in and watch it from the very beginning and start it, because I watched the first episode, but I'm going to watch it from the very beginning again and binge watch that. I'm so excited about it. But I really wanted to watch that last night. We had caught up on all of our shows on Saturday night. He didn't really have anything to watch, so I was just kind of like looking through stuff. I had one show maybe to catch up. I can't remember what it was. Was it The Bachelor, or did I watch that the night before? I think I watched that the night before. But anyway, did I watch that the night before, or did I watch that last night? I can't remember. But anyway, so I was like looking through these like Harlan Coben shows and stuff, and I ended up, for a while now, like on my to watch list has been A Murder at the End of the World. I have to tell you, I think that this show was like marketed really poorly. Like when you see the poster for it is beautiful and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't really give you an idea of what this show is about. And it kind of makes it feel like it's real like science fiction-y, which to some degree there's some science fiction aspect to it, but not really. And not like, if you're not a person that likes science fiction, you wouldn't like this show. So it's 7 episodes. I'm on the 5th episode, so I have 5, 6, and 7 to watch tonight. It is so good, you guys. Like probably one of the best crime thrillers I have seen in a long time. And it goes back and forth between... Okay, so it's about this girl. I'm not going to ruin it for you. I'm trying to get better with the spoilers and kind of like break it down just to what you need to know. So it's about this girl, and she's like 24, I think, and she wrote this true crime novel about this case that she and her friend were trying to solve, about this guy that had murdered all these women that were missing, right? And then she, like, so it goes between that story and like the story that's happening. And then the other story, and so then there's this person that she looks up to, which is like this, because she's like this computer person, it's like she loves computers and like hacking and all this kind of stuff. And then there's like this woman, and she's like this huge hacker that she like looks up to. And then she gets invited to go on this retreat with this guy that's kind of like on the level of what you'd think like Bill Gates, right? And he like pulls all these people together for a retreat every couple of years to like come up with this like new technology and all this kind of stuff. And she gets invited and she doesn't really know why. And he's married to this hacker that she always looked up to that like went missing one day. And then this mystery ensues. I couldn't even spoil it for you if I wanted to because there's so many details. It is so good. When I'm telling you right now that if you like crime thrillers, and for some reason I also kind of thought, I think it was because of a lot of their names and stuff like that, I think I thought that it was going to be like in a different language or subtitled or something, but it's not at all. And so it is really, 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 really good. When I tell you that you need, if you like crime drama, blah, blah. When I tell you if you like crime thrillers that you need to jump on this right away, I'm telling you, you need to jump on this right away. It is literally that good. Like, it is that good. Blown away by it. So yeah, so I watched that last night, and then I started getting like really, really tired. So I was like, okay, I think it's time for me to go to bed. Hold on just a second. I have to just cut off the beginning and the end of this. This is actually my Peter Does Stuff video talking about my weight. Hold on just one second. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear the hello, hello, hello? Hello, hello, hello. And then my bye at the end. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Okay. I did a little thumbnail, so I need to capture that thumbnail too. And I'm done. What should I call this video? That's what I'm gonna call it. Huge health journey success. So y'all can go over there and you can watch that video. And now I have to like start uploading these videos. But anyway, so I'm gonna finish watching that tonight, and then I don't know when to watch. I've been saving that Harlan Coben show, Stay Close, because I know the other ones, I don't have a problem watching a show that's not, that's in a different language. I just, I would prefer to watch a show that's in English than have to read subtitles through 7 episodes of a show, but I'm totally fine to do that. So, I'm going to watch Stay Close and then probably The Innocent. I have a couple extra shows that I have a couple extra shows that are like thrillers that I want to watch. Let me put a little title on this thumbnail so it looks real cute and stuff. People are going to think this is my vlog, is what they're going to think. They're going to get confused. They're going to be like, Peter, I thought this was your vlog. Actually, I'm uploading this thing on my phone, so I can't look in there to tell you what my shows were, but I have a bunch of other shows that I want to watch as well. So yeah, and that's what I'm planning to do tonight. My walks have gotten longer. I'm like living for my walks, you guys. Like take a different route like every night, and I always like start with this one song. It's like a redo of Hide and Seek. Do you guys remember that song by Imogene somebody? Who was that song? Hide and Seek. I used to love that song back in the day. Seek, Imogene Heap was who it was by. And so I used to love that song back in the day. It's a remix, not a remix, but it's like somebody else like covers that song. And I love that song so much. So I listened to that song, kind of like, oh, I started a new playlist on my iTunes too, and it's called Inspiration or something like that. I can't remember. It's like all music that like inspires me, so that when I'm walking, if I don't want to listen to my audiobook, then I can listen to like music that like inspires me, and then I get like pumping and all that kind of stuff. But I'm really enjoying my walks and like listening to my audiobooks and stuff like that at night. It's really fun. You know what? My last video that I did on my Peter Does Stuff channel was a weight loss video, and now my next one's going to be a weight loss video. I should have done a video about The Bachelor today. But The Bachelor comes out tonight, though, doesn't it? It comes out tonight and tomorrow. So maybe on Wednesday I'll do a video about The Bachelor and my... oh, wait a second. Maybe on Wednesday I'll do a video about The Bachelor. I can't do a video about... the Slayton sisters anymore. Well, I mean, I could about the Slaytons anymore because 1,000 Pound Sisters is over. It's over for the season. Their seasons are so short. It really pisses me off because I love that show. And there's only like 10 episodes or something. Now, I did a Peterisms video, and it's called Saying Goodbye, and I know people are going to say it's about a clickbait title, but it's not about me saying goodbye, just so you know. It's about, sometimes you need to say goodbye to people in your life, because it was about this, read a meditation over there today. I haven't read meditations for a while, and I read them the other day, and people seem to like it, so I'm going to read some more meditations over there. And then I don't know what I'm going to do for dinner tonight. I'm like... getting down to the nitty-gritty of meals. I have like... oh wait, I don't do a thumbnail on this one. I always just pick a screenshot from my Peterisms channel. I don't do a thumbnail. You guys figured that out by now. So I was like... you can like go in and you can make a thumbnail, or you can like pick a screenshot. And on my Peterisms videos, I realize that nobody really cares. Because sometimes I'll do a thumbnail and I notice that I don't like... more people don't watch it if I have a like a created thumbnail. And so I just go in and I like pick a screenshot. I have to actually, there's this guy that does these reviews. His name's like Review Bruh or something like that. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? He like dresses up in a suit. He's hilarious. I love his reviews. And he does like pizza and fast food and stuff like that. I think he got started doing like energy drinks. Because I went back and looked at like his oldest videos. And then he did like pizza and stuff. And... sometimes he like drinks out of like these like antique like crystal glasses and stuff. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Let me see what this channel is called. Hold on a second. YouTube. YouTube is my life. His name's not Review Bruh, but that's what they call him. But it'll pull up. Is it Review Bra? Review Bra Breaks Character. I haven't seen that video. The Report of the Week is what it's called. He has 2.8 million subscribers. And, like, his videos are... hold on a second. It's like a very antique look to him. He's young, kid. He's probably 25, 26. But, like, none of his thumbnails, like, they're all just, like, him holding the food. Like, he's in a suit. Is this the best fast food burger? And he's, like, just holding the burger. The pizza I didn't see coming. He's holding up the box of pizza. Did McDonald's go too far? He's holding up this, like, Big Mac box. These are his views. 150,000 views, 242,000 views, 291,000 views. His videos are long, too. They're like 1830, 1857, 1726, 1836. Shake Shack's Korean style fried chicken sandwich review. I love his reviews. They're so good. The problem with Taco Bell's new value menu. I mean, he's literally just holding up the bag. So when people say that you have to have these big fancy thumbnails, I'm not a believer in that. Arby's new mac and cheese bites reviews 3 months ago. That sounds good. The most disappointing celebrity. I haven't watched some of these videos of his, but I really like his videos. It says, shortwave radio enthusiast and broadcaster who critiques comestibles, beverages, and beyond with intermittent postings of random videos and talk shows on a variety of topics. I produce a podcast on YouTube. Oh, I didn't know that. How does his YouTube, where is this at? How does his, I want to see his podcast. It's called the VOR podcast. VOWR. I want to see how that does. And what he does topics about over there. I didn't even know that. 94.7 thousand subscribers. When's the last time he posted? 3 weeks ago. Random talk. What do you think will happen in 2024? 7,000.6 thousand views. Random talk. Expanding my radio show. 9,000 views. He hasn't posted on here very often. That was 1 month ago, 3 months ago, 8 months ago, 11 months ago. Well, he was getting good views for a while. 37,000 views. Random talk. Bigfoot evidence. The gentleman's trend. Do you guys know him? I like just find like the most random people on YouTube. We should go to my home and let's see what's like recommended to me in my home. Oh, he was the first video recommended to me. Then Ethan's Basement, Ethan Klein, Trixie Mattel. I know some of these people are. Oh, because this is on my Peterisms channel because I'm uploading a video. Oh, this is my Peter SF channel. Jacqueline Hill. Inside Sofia Vergara's stunning Los Angeles home. 17 relaxing Mario jazz medleys. Dustin Daly. 1,000 Pound Sister season 5 finale. Peter's reality recap and opinions. Wax empties. It's summer 1949. You're reading by the lake. Oldies, music, and water sounds by Nemo's Dreamscapes. Okay, it's 11 hours. I love this channel so much. I love it so much. Peaceful day at Hogwarts, music and ambiance. See, I listen to a lot of music. Valentine's Day, horror stories, Mr. Nightmare. I like that channel too. The Game Show and the Murder of 48 Hours, full episode, 4 months ago. Just Trish Pike. These are not the people that I'm subscribed to. These are just things that are being recommended to me because I can tell you I know that I'm not subscribed to. Oh, Kalani Productions. That's the drag one. I know I can tell you I'm not subscribed to half of these channels on here. I know I'm not subscribed to RuPaul's Drag Race. Every RuPaul's Drag Race winner's entrance. I'm not subscribed to Sophia Nygaard or Vivian Tries, or I don't know who any of these people are. I know who Sophia Nygaard is. So these are all the ones that are... Oh, look, it's What's in My Purse by Trisha Paytas. That is so funny, from 13 years ago. I was just talking about how I love those What's in My Purse videos. Aquarium 4 Pine. Let's look at this with relaxing music. It's a scenic relaxation. So it's an aquarium that you watch. And it's 11 hours and 54 minutes. You watch an aquarium, this beautiful seascape, and then it's aquarium 4K video, Ultra HD, sea animals with relaxing music, rare and colorful sea life video. Let's see what it looks like. The ads are playing right now. So I'm playing an ad while I'm watching my video. Okay, skip. Ooh, look at that. Wonder what the music sounds like. Okay, is it just the same picture for all 11 hours? Oh no, they go through the ocean. Oh, it's like you're snorkeling and stuff. Oh, now there's a whale. That's at the 7-hour minute. Oh, look at that. It's a huge, oh, it blew some air out of its hole and went back under the water. I could, see, this is the kind of stuff that I could watch all day long. Okay. Let's get these videos up so Peter can get back to talking to the people. Hey, people. Don't call people people. I have this teacher. I think I've told you guys this before, and she used to always say, people, people. I thought it was so rude. I hated her. You shouldn't hate people. It's not nice. I know. I didn't really hate her. Just didn't like her. She was rude. She was the same teacher that made me stick my gum on the brick wall, or pick a piece of gum on the brick wall at recess so that I could put my nose up against it because I was talking in class. And then my mom showed up and she was like, what are you doing with your nose? I mean, I was like 5th grade or something. She was like, maybe it was in 2nd grade, but I think it was in 5th grade. She was like, what are you doing with your nose up against the that piece of gum? And I was like, so-and-so, this teacher told me to do it. She was like, no, you need to take your, I thought I had made that thumbnail. I didn't download it. She was like, you need to take your nose off that thumbnail, or off that gum right now. That is disgusting. She's like, who told you to do that? I said, my teacher. And she went over there and she called that teacher out. My mom was like, I've been an educator all my life, and that is not how you teach children, and blah, 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 whatever. She was so mad at that teacher. She was so mad. That teacher, she never made me stick my nose. This is like the hard part, right? About like education. Like when you, I mean, there are so many fantastic teachers out there, but let's just be for real. There's a few nasty ones too, right? And she was one of the nastier ones. And this is the hard thing about like when people are like, you should always tell teachers or counselors if you're like going through things or whatever. So like that teacher never put my nose up against the wall, or never made me put my nose up against the wall again. But can I just tell you, she was never nice to me again. Never. She hated me. They probably should have just put me in a different classroom because my mom had called her out and was like, you were so rude to my kid, and why are you having him put his nose up against somebody's old gum, and it's unsanitary, and I was an educator, and this is not how you teach children, and on and on and on. So they should have moved me out of that room, but they didn't. And so then she just was rude to me the rest of the time that I had her. But you know, like every counselor and every teacher that I ever went to, which were very few because I learned this very early on, you know, and they're always like, your parents are like, if you have somebody, if you're going through something, you should like go and talk to somebody and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. Whatever, like, that did not fare well for me at all. That did not help me. Whenever I would go talk to a counselor or a teacher or whatever, they would always be like, you know what I just realized? I have to wait for this video to be uploaded on my phone before I can take my walk. Oh, it doesn't have that much longer. But anyway, they would always be like, are you the one that initiated it? Yeah, I'm the one that initiated my pants getting pulled down in the hallway. I'm the one getting thrown into the wall in the bathroom. I'm the one getting thrown into a urinal. I'm the one that's getting my, I'm initiating, I'm the one that's enticing people to write the F word all over my locker in Sharpie so it won't come off. Oh, but why don't you make me be the one to clean it off? Because you think that that's the right thing to do, right? I really, to be honest with you, I'll tell you what I really think. And looking back on it, it's really kind of a sad statement, but I grew up in a different era, right? I think that, and it wasn't just boys that picked on me, girls picked on me too, right? Especially in elementary and early junior high, but mostly it was elementary school. And I can remember going and talking to people about it. And I can remember that it was always, there was like one teacher that was nice to me, but other than that, the response was always kind of like it was my fault kind of attitude, you know? And I can, like, I see myself as like this little kid just like walking down, like with my like, you know, head down and my arms down, like having to go talk to the principal yet again for getting, you know, like tripped in the hallway and, you know what, just something ridiculous. And then the teacher thinking it's my fault. And I really think that it was a lot of like growing up in an era of homophobia. I really do. And that a lot of these like educators were like, well, he is effeminate, you know? And so, like, we can't blame these kids for making fun of him. Like, what? They don't know any better or whatever, right? And I think to some degree, I don't think these educators or these teachers were like gay haters or anything like that. But I think in their mind, somehow they like made it right. And so instead of sitting the kids down there and calling their parents and being like, your kid is calling a third grader, a second grader, a first grader, the F word and all the words, right? And saying all this horrific stuff about it, physically hurting this kid, on and on and on. I mean, this was like the early 80s, right? Instead of calling those parents in, those parents would be like, I think they were so afraid of having that conversation of, so you agree. The camera stopped. I had no idea it was the 30-minute mark. I think people were, like, when I look back on that period, and I've tried to make sense of it a million times, you know, I think maybe people were kind of afraid to have that conversation. You know, like, okay, so as an educator, you're saying it's okay to be gay? Like, they didn't want to have that conversation. So it was much easier to blame the person. And like I said, I never went home and told my parents. I never went home to my mom or my dad. There was like one time in high school that my dad got called in, and I can tell you he was not happy. But like, I mean, there were a few times that my parents had to come for stuff, but like, I wasn't somebody that went home to my mom and my dad and was like, the kids were picking on me today. I never did that. Partly out of protection from my parents, because I didn't want them to know that I was being made fun of at school, because I don't know, I just like was trying to protect my parents from it. And so it was easier to call me down and be like, okay, Peter. Like, I can remember this one like principal being like, I can see him in my head when I was in elementary school. And I can remember my going home and my mom being like, oh, Principal so-and-so, he's so nice, isn't he? And I can remember thinking to myself, he's so mean. And he'd be like, okay, Peter, like, this is the third time this week. What do you do to keep on upsetting these boys? And I'm like, and I just never said anything, you know? I never said anything. Ever. It was hard, you know? And I can remember just thinking like, and going back to room, I can see myself walking in this hallway, just like my little head down, you know? And being like, and then wondering, is it my fault? Like, am I doing something wrong? Like, you know? Because then you start believing it, right? Like, oh, my coffee. Ooh. Almost fell off the table. And then I'm like, is it my fault? Like, am I doing something wrong? And you start asking yourself all those questions, and you start wondering, like, am I the problem? I don't know, you know? Like, it's weird, right? I love how they say, like, those are the kids' formative years, right? Like, those are those foundation years. And we should really focus on the kids then. And I know that things are different today, because I have friends of mine that are educators, and I have friends of mine that work in, like, you know, different departments with kids that have Asperger's and autism and things like that, and kids that are bullied in schools. And I know that there's better programs in place. Not fantastic, but better programs, right? And there's different approaches to learning and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, if those are your formative years, my formative years were lived in fear of thinking I was always doing something wrong just by being who I was, and subduing who I was, keeping it down, muting it, so I wasn't more of who I was, which is why I love so much the statement, be too much, which is why I say that. Always fucking be too much. Be who you are, you know? Because I would subdue it to the point where I was almost lost. I didn't even know who I was anymore, right? For years on end, just to not get in trouble or not get picked on, and it kept on happening anyway. And those were my formative years to get into my adulthood and talk about it, and people go, you need to get over it. Like, I mean, you're 30, you're 40, you're 50 now, get over it. Well, if those were my formative years, that's formed me into who I am today. I can't change that, right? You know, and you think about that, and then it takes me all these years to go back to our therapist that we had before, when he looked at me that one day and he said, has anybody ever suggested to you that maybe you suffer PTSD as a result of being bullied? And I was like, what? No, but wow, thank you. I feel seen for the first time in my entire life, you know? I feel seen. Yeah, it's hard. Because the Peter that I am today would never allow that for that kid. I can remember, this was not too long ago. One of our friends, their daughter, who is like in first grade, is being bullied, okay? I mean, this child is so sweet, and I know everybody says that, but, like, I've interacted with her on, like, many different occasions, like, when she's around other kids and whatever. I mean, she's always the smallest kid. That's why she's getting picked on, right? And Alex was, like, having this, like, phone call with her, and they were on speakerphone. And she's like, I just don't really know what to do, and I keep on getting these calls from the school and blah, 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 whatever. And I don't feel like they're taking me seriously, and I think I was sitting here and Alex was over there, and I finally said, babe, can I say something? And he was like, yeah. And I said, you know, because I'm like, we're good friends with this couple. And I said, you need to call the school tomorrow and say, we're scheduling an appointment. We want the teacher, we want the principal, we want the counselor. If there's anybody else that's pertinent to this situation, we want them there as well. And my husband and I will both be there to sit down and have a conversation because we're going to get to the bottom of this. I said, you need to deal with this. I said, it's not going away. You need to let the school know you're taking this seriously and not just let it continue to go on. She's like, well, she comes home every single day and she cries. And then, you know, like, I don't know what to believe. Like, I don't know if it's her, if it's like the other little girls. I go, then get to the bottom of it. You'll find out if your daughter's the one that's being the bully or if she's being bullied. You'll find out. Talk to the other parents. We're talking about 5-year-olds. Talk to the other parents. Have a meeting with all the parents and say, what are we going to do? Our girls aren't getting along, you know? Figure something out. Something has to be figured out. Because if not, this is going to be carried through years and years and years, you know? And then we get into adulthood. And it's always interesting to me. It's always the people that weren't bullied in school that are like, you just need to get over it. Like, why aren't you over it by now? Or they were people that were bullied that turned it into anger. Like, I don't want to be angry about it. Like, I don't want to be angry about something that happened to me when I was in first grade that I hardly even remember, but I have glimpses of the worst parts of it. Like, I don't want that to be my life experience today. You know what I'm saying? I sat in that bed. Well, I'm going to get off this topic because this topic's too much. But yeah, it's serious. Like, the bullying stuff is really, really serious. It's emotional and verbal abuse, period, in the story. And sometimes physical abuse, you know? Sexual abuse sometimes, you know? And just because it's coming from a peer of yours in a school doesn't mean that it's not just as serious. And it's one of the most minimized issues of abuse that we see in our society today is bullying. You know, and if I could tell you the amount of people that have minimized it, okay? Which is why it really irks me when I read, like, you've got like a social media person that has 10 million followers and they're getting comments about stuff and people are like, they're bullying me. I'm like, you have 10, okay, part of a bullying situation is a power differential, okay? Like, let's just make that clear, right? And I feel like so many people overuse this word bullying that it just doesn't mean anything anymore. If I could tell you the amount of people, I mean, I did a lot of anti-bullying work and campaign and sharing my story, you know, when I was younger and things like that. And like in my youth, but like, you know, when I was older and sober and stuff like that. If I told you the amount of administrators and stuff that I sat at that would be like, there's no bullying at our school. And I'm like, are you fucking crazy? Like, you don't think there's any bullying that's going on in your school whatsoever? Oh no, there's no bullying. I mean, I wouldn't say it like that. They'd be like, no, we've never had any instances of bullying. It doesn't happen in our school. I'm like, you are ridiculous and have no clue what is going on in your own school, right? And then I have fantastic teachers and administrators I've interacted with that have been like, we have a lot of it and we don't know what to do about it because nothing works. And we've done these bullying protocols and, you know, blah, 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 whatever. And there's like nothing that really works, you know? I saw this powerful video. I don't know if it was a TV show or if it was a video, but it was where like the person that was being bullied had to talk to the person that was doing the bullying. And they were like in junior high. It was like these two girls. And they had to talk to each other. And they had to explain where they were coming from the other person. And they had to do it. It wasn't just like one time. It was like over the period of like several weeks. And I was like so like moved by how this whole thing was presented. Like, putting yourself, it's hard to like dislike somebody or come for them when you put yourself in their shoes, right? Like, I can remember in talking to the person, and I have no issues with him today. I mean, like, he's apologized to me and whatever, but like the damage was done in all honesty. Like, if he was standing in front of me, I wouldn't say that. But the reality is I'm thankful for his apology. We're friends today. He's, you know, made up and whatever. But like my biggest bully in high school, the damage is done. Like, I lived the hell because of that. I appreciate your apology. I appreciate you trying to make it right, but it was already done, you know? But I remember in talking to him, he said to me, like, if you knew what I was going through at that time in my own life, there was 2 instances of this. The other one was the football player that I saw at the casino. That guy was not one of my bullies. But he kind of said something similar to me. But when I met with my bully, the first time that we sat down and actually talked about stuff, and he said, I mean, I was never, like, nasty to him when I saw him. I was just like, hey, it's good to see you. And he reached out to me and whatever, right? But when he was like, if you knew what was going on, like, in my home at the time that started, like, as far as not getting any attention, not getting any love, not getting any compassion. So for him to get that was seeking it from his peers. This is how he made sense of it, right? Seeking it from his peers of being a court jester and making fun of somebody, and I just happened to be the person that he made fun of. It was never personal. He would say that to me. It was never personal. I'm like, it's never personal, and yet it carried on for like 10 years. 10 years. And it also spurned other people to bully me to the point where I was threatened to have sex with people and like physically, like my car, like I was followed to my house, like, I mean, I was called the most horrific names, and it was all instigated. That was the word I was looking for earlier, instigated. When my principal would say, did you instigate this? You know, it was all instigated from this one guy that was the ringleader of all of it. I mean, even like people that were like friends of his that weren't bullying me, like when they would walk down the hall and like he was nowhere to be seen, and they'd be walking down the hall and they'd see me and they'd be like that, like just to like, and then laugh. It was all like this big joke, right? This big calculated joke, and he was the ringleader of it. Walking around in his shoes and understanding where he was coming from, I get it. I get it. I do. I'm a human being. I understand that. I understand that need for love. It's not an excuse. It doesn't take away the pain that I went through. It explains it more to me. I can understand it on a deeper level. That I'm thankful for. To be honest with you, I'm more thankful of it because if I thought it just came out of nowhere because I was this person that everybody hated, I think that would hurt more. But to know that it was never personal, that it wasn't really ever about me, you know, to begin with, like, that was really helpful. It just was never personal to me, you know? I mean, it was personal to me. It was never personal to him. It wasn't like he had this vendetta against me and stuff. And what's so funny today is, like, knowing him, like, we're so similar. We're so alike, you know? And, oh, it's just sad, isn't it? It's like I look at my nephews. Like, Carlitos is pretty popular. So I've had to, like, Sebastian, I mean, he's still young, but he's just a goofy kid. But, like, Sebastian, I mean, like, Sebastian's involved in sports, and he's, like, got a good, solid friend group and stuff like that. But you can tell, like, Carlitos is, like, popular and, like, the ringleader, and the girls like him and all that kind of stuff. And I've had that conversation with Carlitos, like, several times. I'm like, I always start from asking him if he's bullied, and he always is like, no, like, why would anybody, it's always like, why would anybody bully me, you know? And I'm like, do you bully people? And I've had that conversation with him a couple times. I've asked Carlos and Liliana, and they've like, yeah, I think that's a conversation that needs to be had. And then I'm like, you know, he's like, oh, no, I would never do that, which of course I would say that, right? And I mean, I'm not somebody that thinks that, like, my nephews are saints just because they're my nephews, you know? And I'm like, well, Carlitos, I said, you know, I've said to him, sometimes you can bully people and not realize you're doing it. And I've said to him, you know, T.O. Peter was bullied horribly when I was your age and stuff. And I've shared the stories with him a little bit of what he went through and whatever. And, you know, like, that's all I feel like I can do. I just plant the seed, you know, and hope that, I mean, I don't know. It would break my heart to hear that somebody's kid was going through what I went through because of my nephews or because of, like, the kids of one of my friends or something like that. One of my proudest moments was Tanya and I were this is a long time ago. Her son Nick was like 9 or 10 at the time, and that he and some friends were playing out back. And Tanya and I were sitting inside the kitchen. She had the windows open. And this one kid started saying like a lot of derogatory words. And Nick said, hey, you need to stop using that language. He had no idea that we could hear him, right? And he was like, you need to stop using that language at my house. And, I mean, he was using like, you know, the gay slurs and all that kind of racial slurs and all that kind of stuff. And Nick said it like 3 times. He was like, if you say that at my house, you're not going to ever come over here again, and we're not going to play with you. And this kid's like, I'll say whatever I want to say, and blah, 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 whatever. And Nick was like, you need to leave, and we're going to go inside, and we're going to play now. He was like, because I was taught that we don't use those kind of words. And they came inside. Tanya and I was like, watch them come inside, and they like, you know. Tanya's like, that's my kid. I was like, see? We do teach our kids, right? That hate comes from somewhere. That hate comes from somewhere. I'm a believer in that. Children are not, I mean, I believe that there are like a finite group of people out there that are born serial killers and just evil, but not a lot. I don't think there's a lot. I think it's a finite, very small number of people that are born evil, you know? I think the rest of it is taught. And I think it's how do we choose to teach our children and the people in our life. You know, I'm a believer that we teach people how to treat us. I believe that. I've witnessed it. I've done it, you know? So, if you allow people to treat you a certain way, they're going to continue to do it. To teach them, you have to unteach them, you know? It's never too old to be taught something different, you know? I'm not a believer that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. My dog's old and he learns new stuff all the time. That makes him seem like a little puppy dog, you know? I'm not a believer in that. You can unlearn this stuff in your head. Anyway, this vlog went to a deep place that I didn't expect, and my drama video is uploaded, but you know what? My other 2 videos are not. My Peter Does Stuff video has 39 minutes left on it, and my Peterisms video has 11 minutes. So I'm going to start rendering this vlog, and then I'm gonna go put on my walking shoes, and I'm gonna listen to Mandy Matney book, and I'm gonna go take my walk, and I'm so excited about it. Here's my new t-shirts, my sober t-shirts that I got. That'll be my thumbnail tonight. Cause I am. That's what I'm gonna call this vlog. Cause I am. Anyway, I went deep. I had no idea this vlog was gonna go deep tonight. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's what I say in my other, why am I doing this? I'm messing everything up. This is my vlog. Okay. You know what? That's a sign that I just need to get off here real quick tonight. I love you guys. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Monday. If you need to start your day over, just start it over. If you need to start your week over, just start it over. Be kinder to one another. Love one another. Think through things. Think through choices. Think through words. And just for today, let's do a little bit better. Let's try a little bit harder at being more loving, more kind, more compassionate, caring people. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. I love you.